The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WinBet. WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WinBet has what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100, get $100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. At sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the College Basketball Experience, where I got my start in the Sports Gambling Podcast. March Madness is heating up, and all you need to do is subscribe to the College Basketball Experience for awesome winners, a whole bunch of picks. See you on Saturday, Kobe. Let's go. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real villain, real Terrell, Furman Jr. at your service. And coming off, you know what? I don't even want to say it. I don't want to jinx it. Just know things are good on this side of the tracks. On that side of the tracks, we got my guy Scott Studio Rochelle. Scott, what's going on?
Nothing much. How's it going with you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm great. You don't want to jinx things, but when things just happen to be falling your way. And after last night, a lot of things are definitely falling my way. So, it feels good. Wizards, great game there. I I still don't know when the last time we seen a head coach just walk in and join the team mid-season, but easy fade spot there for the Hawks. Still can't trust the Mavericks at home, laying points at all whatsoever. Doesn't matter. Kyrie Irving, no change in the philosophy. Do not lay points with the
Well,
Mavericks
they
at
they
home.
did change. They just can't guard anybody now. So
Well, they couldn't guard anybody before. Their
that's
defense
what
was
I'm
bad all
saying.
year.
Well,
Yeah,
I
so they're
mean, the
just
defense got worse, and Kyrie ended up missing the game winner. But even if he hit it, they weren't even close to covering the
oh
entire
no, they
game.
weren't. That
So
was easy pickings there. Appreciate the Pacers for helping me out. Shout out to Hallie for on his birthday as well. Luca, shout out to you. Appreciate you not hitting the game winner and killing that money line opportunity. And then the Spurs get a win. The Spurs have their first win in what? 15, 16, 17 games?
yeah, give or take. That was a pretty bad. I don't want to say full-on implosion by Utah, but it felt that way. But nice job by San Antonio in the second half to weather the storm and to hang in there, and that was a nice win for San Antonio. Besides that, though, the Clippers keep doing Clipper things. I've said that this team is horrible late in games. I've called this team basically frauds for the last couple of weeks.
Were you
And
were you on the show where I said bet the Clippers at 7-1 to miss playoffs?
yes, you said that you mentioned it because we talked about the futures for the Western Conference and for the league. And I asked you what your thoughts were on the Clippers because we talked about teams that we thought could win the West, and we both thought the Clippers were not on that list of teams, but you went above and beyond and said you think they might miss the playoffs.
Yeah. And granted, I just looked at the odds. Odds haven't shifted too much just because of how jam-packed the West is, but 0-3 since that span. So maybe me saying that out loud is the thing that invigorates them to start winning some games. But Clippers are definitely still clippering, and they are a half game out of the play-in. And that's what I want for my bet. I don't need them. Well, if they fall out of 10, that would be great, but I highly doubt that happens. But I just want them in the play-in, and I want an opportunity to either green up my bet or hedge out of my bet in the play-in opportunity. So how they're playing, we might get there because if I look at my counter right, Kawhi's played in how many straight games now? 3, 4.
Yeah,
Is that like a
give or
new
take.
record for this season?
I feel like Kawhi gets home from the arena, like back to his house, and his knees just like disintegrate into thin air at this point, you know? Like I don't think his knees are used to playing this many games with overtime attached to it, by the way, for a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of them.
so 3 overtimes in that 3 game. Oh, Kawhi, you're sitting the next game. He's like 3 games straight. This
I
is
thought he was going to
well,
sit this past game, but I think the argument is they keep losing. Like if they would have won a game, he
they
probably
would
would
have
have
sat.
sat, but they keep
Yeah.
losing.
So they're like, God damn it, can we win so we can sit this guy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh man, we'll see what the Clippers do, man. But I'll say they got their work cut out for them. This second half of the season doesn't look like you're gonna get a bunch of easy wins in here. As I look at it, you got the Warriors a few times, you got the Kings in here. I see the Grizzlies 3 times in March. Jesus Christ. You have the Knicks who have been playing a lot better. Yeah, even the Thunder might give him a couple of games. By that point, Shea is probably back. The Thunder might give him a couple of games. I don't know. I think that there's it was a shot in the it wasn't a shot in the dark, but it was a risky bet when I placed it. And I think that we possibly could be onto something.
I'm not sold on this team, but I think they'll get into the playoffs. But if they're in the play-in, if they fall that low and you have them at 7-1 to miss, then it's
Yeah.
automatic value.
Yeah. You feel
So
good. You feel good. All right. Anything else? I didn't. What y'all do last night? What was your lock and dog last night?
I did not do well. Halliburton screwed me. He decided to score a bunch of points. I had him double-double, which was extremely unfortunate. Just his numbers against Dallas historically were good.
Yeah.
The birthday angle worked out for the points, but didn't work out for the assists. Wasn't even close, to be honest with you, for most of it. And I leaned to Chicago against Toronto just because Toronto laying points. I know Chicago on the road isn't good, but Toronto laying points isn't exactly an ideal spot either. Chicago hung in there. They led at several points in the fourth quarter, couldn't break away, and they lost outright. So ended up going 0-2, unfortunately. I was trying to think of other storylines from yesterday's action. How about Portland, by the way? Like going from up 23 to losing by 18. Kind of impressive stuff. A 41-point swing midway through the game.
I actually did not know that that's how that game turned out because I feel like every time I didn't watch this game, but
That was
anytime that I was
Delonte's lock.
drifting,
And Golden State
yeah,
was getting killed, and they came back and they won comfortably.
oh yeah, I was sitting there. I felt like I looked, and every time I looked at the game, I saw Golden State was just up a lot, and I was like, oh okay, Golden State's. I don't think I ever saw the point where Portland was up.
It was like early second quarter. They were up
Yeah, oh,
23.
okay.
And
Yeah, I
then
got to go
Golden
back and
State
look at that one.
outscored them by, I think it was 20 in the third quarter, or what, second quarter or third quarter. But the point is, Portland was up a decent amount, and they completely just fell apart, and Golden State killed them. So, yeah, Portland doing Portland things. I also like how you give a round of applause for Golden State defensively because they held the Lillard to only 25 points. That's where we're
9
at
for
now with
21
Lillard.
from the field. That's pretty
Yeah.
good, man.
But
He's
but
been
that's the
on
point though.
fire.
25 points, is usually a decent day if you just blindly look at the points. But since it's a Lillard, it's like, oh no, great defensive effort.
Yeah, no, really, really good defensive effort. All right.
Trying to think of any other storylines there. Then that was basically it. And the Nets
Yeah.
are bad, but I mean, Giannis did Giannis things. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna fault the Nets.
I'm saying I don't have
Yeah,
really
that
have
was
more to
a
add.
that was a that was a good effort. It was a good effort. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. What is this, Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the Wednesday slate. First game up on the docket, we have the Phoenix Suns on the road going to play the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets are catching 10 at home. Jesus Christ. The Hornets are catching 10 at home. 229 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Charlotte Hornets that PJ Washington is doubtful with a foot injury. You have Cody Martin out. And LaMelo Ball, as everybody know, that ankle again, he is going to be out and probably shut down for the rest of the season. You got to think.
He's done.
Yeah,
He fractured his ankle.
he fractured
He's
his
done.
ankle. Yeah. So, however, other side of the ball, this is the news everybody's been waiting. Everybody's been ready to hear, ready to see. Kevin Durant is in. You can expect Kevin Durant to play tonight. Monty Williams has confirmed he will play limited minutes. You don't know how much of him you're going to see. You don't know what the chemistry is going to be, but he will play in this game tonight. I mean, everybody's betting. Everybody's betting Phoenix.
Everyone's betting Phoenix, but we have faded Charlotte several times this year with LaMelo being out, and it's been extremely profitable because this team is horrible. But in those cases, Gordon Hayward was also injured, and they had no talent.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
Hayward's actually been pretty
good.
Yeah,
when Hayward steps up and is able to run the offense when LaMelo is out. When LaMelo and Hayward is out, that is probably one of the worst basketball teams you've ever seen in life.
Yeah,
but especially with Scary Terry running things. Oh man, What's this? This money's per split. Yeah. So 64% of the bets, 91% of the money is on Phoenix tonight. Do you just sit here and take the Charlotte catching double digits at home angle?
I think you got to be tempted by it, but I don't. I feel like the way I'd bet this is player prop based. There are some player props that I'm just immediately interested in, and I feel like that's kind of how I'm going to approach this game in general. But I'll probably lean to Charlotte plus the points. Durant's a great player; he's an all-time great player, but you have to wonder about the chemistry with this team and
Uh-huh.
how you have a brand new starting lineup that's never played together before. We usually know that it takes a couple of games, worst case scenario, to at least build up some chemistry amongst a new
Uh-huh.
lineup. I'm not going to blindly pick Phoenix to win this game by 30, even though on paper they should win this game by like 15. I
Uh-huh.
think Charlotte hangs in there for a bit. I think that Phoenix is going to win, but I do think that blindly taking a team with a brand new player who has not played with any of his teammates yet tends a little bit much to lay on the road.
Uh-huh.
I'll lean to Charlotte, but there are some player props I'm more interested in.
All right. I wish Scott Foster was reffing this game.
Does that apply for regular season games, by the way, or is that only playoff games?
I actually don't know the answer to that question. I
I
will
don't know
find
either.
that out at some point and figure out what that applies to, but I think it applies to everything. I feel like it applies to all the games. All right. Uh, I am going to side with you, and I'm just going to say that somehow, some way, Charlotte stays in this, whether the Suns don't know what to do defensively in terms of rotating, switching, all of this other stuff, and allow Charlotte to just be able to score at home. And that's really what it's got to be. Charlotte's gonna have to score if they're gonna cover this spread. And so, uh, and the lack of chemistry, you're pushing. I don't even realize who's getting pushed to the bench for KD entering the starting lineup. Is it was it Torian Craig? Probably Torian Craig, I think it is.
Well, they haven't officially announced the official starting lineup.
Yeah, I just going off of projection, and it projected. It looked like it might be. Well, we know it's going to be Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre, and Kevin Durant. That last guy, like, do they add a coach? He's been really good. Do they
They can
add
really
him?
rotate based on matchups. I'm assuming
Yeah,
Okogie will be in the lineup and Craig probably won't be, but we'll see.
yeah. That's another thing. They're gonna have to play around and figure out who that fifth guy is and who consistently that fifth guy is going to be. So, if you have to bet this game, I lean towards Charlotte, but you don't have to bet this side. You really
Once again, I'd rather just go
don't.
for player props.
Yeah. All
And
right.
we mentioned that Durant's going to play. He's on an obvious minute restriction here.
Yeah, he is.
So
All right.
just keep that in mind too.
Total 229. Open up 230. 2.5. Drop 229.
I think I'm going to lean to the under just because LaMelo, besides wanting to play fast because he's a very solid facilitator at the point guard position, he's also one of the worst defenders in the league, or he's definitely not good at defending. Is Charlotte a better defensive team when he's not on the court? Probably.
Yeah,
And
more than
offensively, they
likely.
should be worse. And I mentioned the chemistry issues potentially for Phoenix early on. I'm going to go with the under.
I think it's getting to the point where I don't want to take the under anymore, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But
It is dropped to 229, and I would have loved that under at 230, 2.5. Especially, we know this is a non-conference game, but Phoenix in non-conference games absolutely bucked the trend. Charlotte bucks the trend too, but Phoenix completely bucks the trend. 68% to the under in non-conference games. That's 8-17, 8-17 to the over, whereas Charlotte is 10-13 to the over. So there's 56.5% to the under in non-conference games. So you kind of have a match there of, even though this is a good trend for over, both of these teams go under in that matchup. I think under is a pretty good bet there. Everything kind of sitting right for that. So I'll back the under with you to 29.5. All right. You've been teasing it this whole time. Props. What do you like?
I feel like I have to kind of pivot to Rozier props. His assists are at 5.5. I think that's kind of intriguing. I see Terrell in the comment section mentioning that
Yeah, I'm
Rozier
looking that up right now.
turnovers is at 2.5 at plus 110. Anytime you can get a starting point guard for turnovers at plus 110, that's definitely worth something.
And 2.5, 2.5. Like, yeah, absolutely. Let me see what he does with LaMelo out of the lineup. But keep going.
Well, I was gonna say when it comes down to it, are you leaning more towards Gordon Hayward points props or Oubre points props?
Oh, Oubre does like what do you have that one? What was it? 1 year with the Suns?
Yeah. I don't know if it's enough for a revenge game compilation, but he did play for Phoenix.
Yeah, it was like 1 or 2 years. I think it was after Washington when he went to the Suns. I think it was after Washington before Golden State.
He wasn't there for long, but the point is
Yeah.
he did play against Phoenix if you want to use that
I
angle. But
yeah, and
he
I
was in
think that
Phoenix for
he
from 2018 to 2020.
yeah, 2 years. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I like Oubre, especially when he gets back into the starting lineup, man.
Yeah.
Like he becomes a different player when he gets back into the starting lineup. I think I'm gonna have to go Oubre there.
Okay. Just saying, I feel like one of those two guys for points should be worth something. Maybe you can pivot to Hayward assists if you want to go for kind of a sneaky idea
That's the
there
play I
because
like. That's the play I like. Gordon
he's
Hayward
going to
assist.
handle the ball more with ball being out. And Rozier, even though I just mentioned his assists as well, he still wants to shoot a lot of threes, and that involves him playing a bit off ball. You can look at Hayward's assist numbers recently 6, 2, 5, 3, 8. So he has had a couple of decent assist games, and that was with LaMelo playing. I think Hayward assist is probably worth a look here. And you could find the current number available at that's 5.5 at plus 125. So you could probably find a 4.5 at like minus
Mhm.
130, minus 140. I don't mind that. I think Hayward's probably in line for a decent assist game, but watch out for a blowout potential. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely blowout potential on this one. Terry Rozier, last 5 games without LaMelo Ball, turnovers 0, 1, 3, 5, 4.
You
So
have the
3 of the
assist
last
numbers
five.
with that?
Yeah, I got the assist right here. So 3 of the last 5, he's gone over that 2.5 in turnovers without LaMelo. Without LaMelo assist, he has 5, 2, 5, 6, and 4.
Okay, so he only got there once. Okay.
Yeah. What Terry Rozier's at 5.5 for
Yes.
assists?
Yeah,
Damn.
he's at 5.5. He's minus 135 on the over, too.
So plus money on the under?
Yeah. I think if I
Like,
was
come
going to
on.
take an assist at 5.5, I would rather take Hayward assist than Rozier.
Is it? I mean, is it weird to say to fade his assist? If I mean, come on, Terry Rozier, he shoots the ball. Like,
Well, I just mentioned that you can keep an eye on it if you. Some people would blindly take the over
yeah,
because
because he's a
he's the
starting
point
point
guard,
guard.
but
Yeah, no,
Hayward
but
does handle a lot of the facilitating responsibilities on this team.
I tell you, if you play Terry Rozier, take the under on that assist, that plus money. I think if you take the under on his assists at plus money and you take the over turnovers at plus money, you got a good chance of getting at least one of them two and
Yeah.
coming up, a couple, point something units or whatever.
Are you making a
Yeah,
case for Mark Williams in this game?
I feel like we should. I
We got
mean,
to
come
bring it
on.
up. You know,
Does DeAndre Ayton reinvigorate himself as not playing soft at the rim with Kevin Durant in the lineup? Because
well,
when you watch
yeah,
his games, he's really soft with some of these rebounds, man. Like
very.
he really doesn't try. If it's not a given rebound, like all you have to do is add a little bit of pressure and he's not getting that rebound.
I'll probably take double, but the only concern is
Foul.
if it does turn into a blowout or if there's foul trouble involved. But I don't know how good Phoenix is actually going to be at getting to the line because they have a bunch of mid-range jump shooters or guys who like to pull up. Whether
Yeah.
it's Booker can draw some fouls, but he's mostly going to shoot on the perimeter.
Yeah.
Durant, we know, is more of a fadeaway guy. Doesn't exactly get to the line a ton. He can, but most of the time he kind of tries
It would have to
to.
be Ayton. Ayton would have to be the person forcing those fouls.
And we know Aiton's kind of afraid of contact in his own right. So
Yeah.
I think if you want to go for a Williams play, it probably would be double or maybe rebounds. But the double price for Williams is plus 130. I feel like that's pretty tempting.
It is. It is. Dang, I remember when that joint was like 2-1, 3-1.
Mhm.
All right. Anything else for this one?
No, that's all I got.
I think we talked through all the props I liked as well. All right. Before we get to the next game, got to talk to you about the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and that is WinBet. Active in a bunch of states all over the country. Live betting, same game parlays, including the Win Build Your Own Bet. And March Madness is upon us, and there's so many ways of getting down on NBA action, NHL action, XFL action, college football, not college football, college basketball. I'm talking over my words. College basketball, yes. So sign up today, receive a special offer, bet $100, get $100, limited to state availability, and you have the DGen only parlay, where if you hit the longest parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. I will let you know that there may have been a, what is it, San Antonio Wizards and Pacers. That was it. There may be a parlay that had San Antonio Wizards and Pacers all on the money line and win bet right now. So if you jump in, you better jump high. Just saying, jump high. But you hit the longest parlay of the week, $1,000 free credit. So much choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offer subject change, terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 older, present in state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. We're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Make sure you head over to the merch store and get all of the cool items we have. A whole bunch of NBA gambling podcast gear, college basketball experience gear. You can get the talk about my third leg of my parlay shorts, all of this stuff all over at the SGPN merch store, store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. So that's store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. All right. Let's move on to the next game of the slate. And we have up the Chicago Bulls playing the Detroit Pistons. The Bulls are laying 6. Coming off a back-to-back loss in Toronto, they are laying 6 versus the Pistons. 222 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Chicago Bulls, let's see. Well, you know about Javonte Green and Lonzo Ball. Goran Dragic is. Oh, they waived him. I didn't see that. I didn't know they waived him. I mean, he was hurt.
They got rid of him.
All right. So pretty clean that you know of right now. We'll see if they, drop anybody on a back-to-back towards the end. But I don't think the Bulls are particular about not playing people on a back-to-back. So I think they should be fine. For the Pistons, you have Bojan Bogdanovic. He's probable with that Achilles. Jaden Ivey's not on the injury report for personal reasons. Jalen Duran, Isaiah Stewart are both out, and Isaiah Livers is even doubtful. So, going to be seeing a lot of Bagley and Wiseman playing together in this game, and sprinkling some Rodney Magruder in there. He somehow, some way, finds himself in a starting lineup. Yeah, still in the leagues and in a starting lineup. Clay, all time, what's that freezing cold take? Hey, at freezing cold takes, you should take the clip of Clay saying that guy's not even going to be in the league in 2 years. And when Rodney Magruder hits the game winner to beat Chicago, post that clip. That'd be hilarious. All right. That kind of told you a lane of where I'm going in this game. Scott, where are you going? -6.
I'm going with Detroit in this one. I took a stand with Chicago yesterday just because Toronto is kind of in the same boat. And this game was close. Unfortunately, Chicago couldn't get it done. They fell apart again in the fourth quarter. I just think on a back-to-back, then, don't get me wrong, Detroit's a bad team. It's obvious that they're a bad team. But I'm not laying 6 with a team that's lost 6 straight on the road. That's just not going to happen. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I do like the under, though. Chicago's been involved in a lot of low-scoring games ever since Patrick Beverley got there. I'm going to go with the under in this game, especially on a back-to-back. I think that this total's too high. But I will lean to Detroit. Probably sprinkle on the money line there. Can't lay 6 with the Bulls on the road. I just can't do it. So I'm going to go with the Pistons plus the points, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still riding with the Pistons, man. Like, dance with, what's the saying? Dance with the people that brought you. Dance with the team that brought you. Whatever the freaking thing. And I'm still rolling with them. I said it after All-Star. I was like, I like this Pistons team, and I think that they're gonna cover a lot of games for us. Now that game against Charlotte, one, we were still in cover potential for that game against the Charlotte. Like that is the number one thing that I was just like, wow. Even with all these people out, we had a chance at that +7 for a very long time in that game. And so even after they got blew out, they came back and it was like, oh, they might do it, and they ultimately didn't. But 2-1 since the All-Star break, I still feel pretty comfortable in saying that this Pistons team gets up in the second half of the season. They are a young team. They figure it out. Now they got their star Jaden Ivey back. Bojan is back. So they're going to have, scoring back in that offense. Yes, they're missing their two starting big men, but they got two really good big men behind them in Bagley and Wiseman that I think can give Vucevic some problems. Like it's not gonna come easy for him today. And he's gonna get cooked defensively. Like defensively, I think this might be another big game for Wiseman. I'm not gonna lie. This might be another big game for Wiseman. And
I see his
Wiseman might
points
just
prop is at 13.5.
we cashed the points ladder last time, and I'm just looking at Vucevic and just thinking, like, there's no way he's going to be able to keep up with him. Wiseman is a speedy big. Like, and I'm not just talking speedy like he's fast running down the court. He is fast when he's in the post, when he makes moves in the post. They are very quick movements, and if you are not right there, you're either fouling or he's scoring. So I think this is another really, really juicy matchup for James Wiseman tonight. I'm all over the Pistons here. I think that this is not only a clear definition of I think the Pistons can actually win this game, but this spread is just way, way too big. And you're giving the Bulls too much credit for a team that plays down the competition.
And they're on a back-to-back with
Yeah.
travel. They played in Canada yesterday. Like that's not a great travel spot.
Definitely not. And then coming back, and now you're in Detroit. I just. All right. We're both on Detroit in this one.
I'm assuming you agree with me about the under.
Yeah. Yeah. I the only thing that I cannot hold against the Chicago Bulls is defense. They've been a lot better defensively, like really good defensively. So
Yeah.
I think that they'll probably give the guards of Detroit some issues there. And
Since the All-Star break, by the way, they've played 3 games, gave up 87 to Brooklyn, 82 to Washington, gave up a 104 to Toronto.
yeah, that's really, really good. So yeah, I think that they'll give some of the backcourt of Detroit some problems. And another game where Detroit's gonna have to play through the bigs and try to use that to their advantage here. So 100% with you there on the under there. I like it under 222. All right. Props. Anything else you like for this one?
You mentioned Wiseman. I can agree with you there. I'm not sold on Vucevic as a defensive player. Let's put it that way.
At all?
Besides that, if Detroit is going to score here, and I know we're looking to an under and all that, but Boyan's at 19.5. Doesn't that sound very low?
Yeah.
Like somebody's going to have to score for this team. You could argue Ivy, but
I think Ivy is the candidate to get shut down.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly, I think Ivy is the candidate to get shut down. So
I feel like I'm just pivoting to Boyan here. I just think that 19.5 is a bit low. Now, he has been battling a bit of an Achilles injury, but he is playing in this game. I just think that based on his offensive talent, that number seems a little bit short. Had 25 last game against Chicago. Looking at the first game against Chicago, he had 20. So he's gone over this number in each of the 2 meetings against Chicago this season. I think I'm going to lean to Boyan over 19.5 points.
Yeah, I like that one. All right, Boyan. We are on Wiseman as well. I don't have any interest of anybody on Chicago on this back-to-back. I really don't.
Do you want to take Beverly under 6.5 points?
What has he been scoring?
Let me just what has he been scoring? Okay, so to go through his numbers since joining the team, 808.
808. So you have a 50% chance. Just take a defensive game.
It's less. Technically, it's a 33% chance. He's going over in 2 or 3.
Oh, 2 or 3. Okay. I mean, what's the odds of him doing that? I could see a Killian Hayes and Beverly under parlay. I could see that.
I'm not a fan of Hayes, so Yeah.
I don't think
Anytime you
anybody
tell
is.
me Killian Hayes unders, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm really good on Chicago though. I don't really have any interest in Chicago
I
in this
gave it a
game at
shot
all.
yesterday, but I think I'm out.
Hey man, the Raptors had it under 500 teams, man. This really gives them problems.
By the way,
Okay.
Terrell, I see in the according to what I'm looking at, it says he's probable. So I'm
Yeah, he
assuming
is.
Boyan will play.
Yeah, probable as of now. Wait to see if he downgrades to questionable, but if he stays probable for the duration of the entire day, then you should feel good about him playing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game of the slate. One everybody probably wants to know about. The Cleveland Cavaliers are on the road to play the Boston Celtics. Celtics are laying 5. Open up at 6.5, now down to 5. 218.5 is the total injury report for these two teams, and we have nothing. Cleveland didn't play last night, so they're just
No.
healthy. Yeah, they're just healthy. Okay, Cleveland's healthy, so nothing to report for Cleveland. And for the Celtics, you have Jaylen Brown, personal reasons. He's in. Mike Muscala is questionable with the knee injury. That's about it for the Boston Celtics, which is pretty good because they've had a rash of injuries for the past few weeks. So pretty relatively clean injury report for Boston as well. There's a lot of money on Cleveland. Not a lot of bets, 50% of bets to be exact, but 93% of money is on Cleveland.
Well, the main argument is that Boston, we just saw kind of lay an egg there on national TV against the Knicks. I know Jaylen Brown didn't play, but people aren't going to provide context to it, and they're just going to say, well, the Celtics looked awful on TV last game, so I got to take the points. And Cleveland is 2-0 this season against Boston, just straight up. I'm going to go with Boston here. Cleveland's still not a great road team, 13-18 straight up, and most importantly, we've talked about it for a while. This team is not very good against elite teams, or at least, solid teams this season. Cleveland, I don't want to say that their record is built on beating up on a bunch of the weaker teams, but it kind of feels that way. Cleveland really does not beat a lot of elite teams. They just haven't this season. And you look at all the
The only
matchups they've
elite teams
had.
they beat are the Celtics.
That's what I'm saying. And even the Celtics matchups were a couple of months ago at this point. I mean, they faced off in late October and November 2nd. They haven't played since November. So I don't even know if I can really use either of those games to prove anything to me. I'm going to fade Cleveland because from what I've seen lately, this team cannot actually beat good teams, which is why I'm pretty low on Cleveland's playoff hopes here. I'm going to go with the Celtics here. With Jaylen Brown being back and they're at home, I think it's a good spot for Boston.
Yeah,
By the way,
I'm thinking
Trevor,
so.
I didn't get a new webcam. I just have the lamp on behind me on. Like it looks like it's a bad camera, but it's really just because I didn't have the lighting.
I swear they'd be noticing everything. Somebody said that my picture was crooked. Is the picture really crooked?
I don't think so. I mean, the top of
I
my
thought,
headset. I mean, I could easily just move this up,
yeah,
but
no, but I thought the leveler said it wasn't crooked. I don't
I don't
know.
think it is.
Whatever.
I think it looks fine.
I thought it looks fine. Like, but somebody he said it like uncalled for. I didn't even ask. Like he said it uncalled for, so it makes me think that it's really crooked. Like I don't know. I'm
It
gonna
looks
look at it
straight
one
if
more
you
time.
tilt your head a little bit,
Oh really? Oh my
No,
gosh.
I'm just saying it looks fine.
Okay. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable taking the Cavs on the road playing a good team, but I'm not ever betting the Celtics because one, I don't like the Celtics. Two, when I bet the Celtics, it rarely ever works out in my favor. So I'm gonna just say Cavs +5 and keep moving. This is really a Scott handicap.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep fading Cleveland against good teams, especially on the road here. I'll go with Boston.
All
And you
right.
don't think that they're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say motivated is the right word, but aren't they going to have a little bit of something extra because of how badly they played against the Knicks?
Yeah, they should.
They should. So, yeah.
And I wouldn't even say that the Philly game was a good game. Like they're 3 games after All-Star, even though they're 2-1 straight up, weren't really good games. Like I don't think even a Celtics fan looks at those games and says, "Oh man, that was a really great game." you thought they were resilient and got a couple of close wins, but you really would have expected them to have better showings in all three of these games. And they're lucky to only take one L out of those three.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Celtics are. So, wait, let's pause real quick. Really quick segue. Because Missoula's going down and Mike Brown's going up.
Yeah.
And the Celtics haven't looked good after the break. Is this beginning? Is this the beginning? Let's just mark this point in time right here. If the Celtics fall off from the 1 seed at this point, this was the point of the season where it went bad. Because I don't know, I'm just not impressed. I was impressed by the games that they had in the early part of the season, even though I don't like them. I was impressed, but this is, I don't know. This is weird.
By the way, when you say up or down, are you saying that Mike Brown's now the favorite to win the award?
I don't think he's the favorite. Let me go back.
I saw he was the favorite on one book over the weekend, but I did put something on Mike Brown to win Coach of the Year. I think it was right after the Clippers double overtime game. I'm just like, all right, like I feel like this is just setting up for Mike Brown to win the award. But yeah, I don't have much more to add on that. I feel like Missoula is not a great coach. I've said it before, but the narrative was there, but Sacramento keeps winning. So, Sacramento's schedule is also pretty easy. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, let's just say Boston's still 2-1. They got the wins, but they haven't looked good. And that is my only concern with Boston moving forward are we starting to see some regression from that really, really good start to the season?
Well, it was pretty tough to sustain, but yes, I think you have seen a bit of regression.
Okay. Props. Oh, what did we talk about? Total sitting at 218.5. This is dropped from 225.5. Seeing a lot of money on the over though. 70% of the bet, 78% of the money on the over, but this line has dropped like a lot. I don't think I'm doing anything else but playing the under, but I'm curious. Are you interested in an over in these two teams?
The only thing that would make me interested in the over would be the fact that the first two meetings ended up landing at least 227 and the total's 218.5, but both games went to overtime. So both numbers are inflated based on the fact that you had extra 5 minutes in both those games. I'm really kind of torn on this total here. I think it's just a stay away for me, but I think I will lean to the over. Because Boston, we just talked about, has not exactly looked like the most dominant team in the world lately. Defensively, they've been a bit underwhelming, but offensively, they've still been pretty good with Jaylen Brown in the lineup. Cleveland defensively, I mean, they gave up 136 to Atlanta, 115 to Denver, 118 to Philly, gave up 109 to San Antonio. I think I'm going to lean over in this game. I think this total just seems a little bit too low.
I can't even get 3 for 3 on the ref report. All right, crew tree for tonight, Cleveland and Boston. We have Josh Tiven. He is 25-23 to the over this season.
That's basically nothing. So,
additional referee Kevin Cutler. He is 16-22 to the under. 16-22 to the over, so 22-16 to the under. And then you have for the umpire Ray Acosta, and he is also to the under 21-26. So 2 under refs, 1 over ref. I think I'm gonna just stick with my gut and go under.
Okay, I think I'm gonna lean over, but I don't have a strong opinion on it.
All right. Any prop wise you like in this one?
Props are going to be tricky for this matchup because you have to wonder how the offense is going to really divide itself for Boston with Tatum and with Brown being back. Is Brown going to be a bit rusty? Is he going to be fine? Is there going to be any type of, I don't want to say transition, but I am wondering if Brown's going to come back like nothing happened, drop 30 and move on with his life.
Yeah.
Are you looking for Donovan Mitchell just to have a big game on TV against the Celtics or no? You already know we like Mobley props, so
yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with Mobley, man. I can't. The thing about Donovan is like they're still good defensively, and the fact is he can't even pick and roll because Al Horford's been really, really good on the pick and roll against guards. Like if you watch Al Horford
Mhm.
defensively, he's really keeping them on the perimeter, and guards are like having to pick up their dribble and pass out of it when they get pick and roll with Al Horford. And that's probably what they should stop doing. Like stop, like it just everybody switches well, and I think that that's going to be really tough for uh Donovan Mitchell. I think I would like maybe Darius Garland slightly more in this matchup, but we'll see. We'll see, man. I'm
I think
not. I'm
one,
not interested in Mitchell.
yeah,
I just want to play Mobley.
I
Mobley
think
is
one
my guy.
prop I'm kind of tempted by, which is going to sound hilariously low, but I got to bring it up. Okoro, you're looking at his over under in this game. It's 6.5,
Points.
but it's weird because in the 2 games against Boston this season, he's played a combined 13 minutes. He's averaging 1 point per game against Boston this season. I don't know why he played that little. Like his role in this team is kind of diminishing. Last 4 games, 19 minutes, 20 minutes, 23 minutes, 21 minutes. He never shoots, but I got to assume it's a serious red flag, at least for people that like him, if he's playing basically half the minutes that he was playing pre All Star break, and now he's barely even in the rotation besides being a 20-minute guy. I'll take a Coro under. 6.5 for a non-offensive player who's playing roughly 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's worth something. I'll probably look at a Coro under.
All right. I can't. I'm not going to talk to you against that.
Averaging 1 point per game. I just saw that and it made me laugh, but I saw the minute tracker here. I don't know why he would only play 13 minutes in those 2 games combined, because with Boston's wings, you'd assume Cleveland wanted him out there for defensive purposes, but he just wasn't on the court. But Okoro has scored less than 3 points in 3 of the last 4 meetings against Boston. So
You're actually about to make me bet this.
I'm just throwing it out there. Like his minutes have completely deteriorated with
No, but
with
you're
this
making like a
rotation
lot of
rolling.
good points. Like you're making a lot of good points. All right. Are you having a hard time meeting people to date? Like maybe you're not just have a hard time meeting people, but the people you're meeting are just not your cup of tea. Well, come talk to my guys with Talkify. They are bringing the human touch back to dating, and no more swiping. Is actual people here in front of you. They are the number one modern matchmaking service designed to help you achieve a bunch of relationship success. I tell you, as a single bachelor, that they have a great compatibility system and specialists where they hand select really, really good candidates for you so that you can just date and feel like that you're not wasting your time, or you're not going out here on a bunch of dates and not meeting anybody or some random person that is really, really creepy. And they're committed to finding you your match. 80% of their clients have met their person in the first 12 matches. Now, if you're going on 12 dates and you haven't met somebody you like, it might be you, but they're making sure that you have the best chance of finding somebody. And right now, Talkify is offering you, our listeners, 20% off if you become a client at talkify.com/SGPN. That is TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off when you become a client. Talkify.com/SGPN. All right. Let's get into this. We have the Philadelphia 76ers on the road going to play Miami Heat. Sixers open up as a 1 point favorite, now over a -2. 215.5 is the total. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Philadelphia 76ers. Looks like pretty clean injury report. Only thing I see here is Dwayne Dedman. And for the Miami Heat, you have Kyle Lowry, who is out. Kevin Love is probable to play in this game with the knee injury. You have Max Strus, who's questionable. Kevin Love is fitting in perfect with this team, by the way. Coming in, joining the team, and going on the injury report, perfect
Mhm.
fit. Like I said, Max Strus is questionable with an ankle. That's about it for them. Expect to see everybody else. Normal contenders, Bam, Tyler Hero, Jim Butler, Gabe Vincent, all that. All right. I cashed Miami outright last time I was on the show. 2-1, 6.5 point dogs on the road. That was a very good spot in Miami. Now I have Miami in another good spot. Home dogs. However, this is the back-to-back game set, as that was the last game that both of these two teams played. Then they both got on a plane down to Miami to play this one. What are you doing here, Scott?
So last game, I'm sure you heard I had a Butler triple double, which I had at 250-1 in a same game parlay, and I fell an assist short. Still haven't mentally recovered from it. I don't think Butler's going to get close to it in this game. I think Philly's going to make some adjustments. My question for you is: it's in Miami. Are you blindly fading James Harden? Does that fade still apply in 2023? Is he too old for that now? Because there's rumors he wants to go back to Houston. That's definitely not for basketball. That's why I'm asking. Is he still a big club guy?
He possibly could be. It could be the no state income tax that's trying to pull him back as well. And this could be a showout game where he says, "Hey, this is a pretty cool place to live that has no state income tax and really nice strip clubs." So
Could be. I'm just throwing it out there that if we've constantly talked about fading Harden and how his stats have looked worse in cities with good strip clubs, and now he's going to Miami, I gotta bring it up, don't I?
Oh my gosh. I don't
Just saying,
know.
don't I
I
have
don't
to
know
bring
if
it up?
that's an actual he actually looks worse with, in a good city, but
I'm just throwing it out there that he is back in Miami, and based on his history, I'm assuming that he's still a club guy. So I'm going to lean to some Harden unders. He killed me on the assist under. I had the under last game, and he was doing nothing for the first quarter and a half, and then he kind of exploded. He had 7 assists in the second half. I would still lean to the under there. I like the full game under. I just feel like with the way both teams defended each other in the first meeting, I don't see that changing. Pace was really just not a factor at all in that last meeting. Miami
mhm,
kind of plays a hybrid zone, and so does Miami, just to guard each other specifically.
mhm.
And I think as a result, you're going to see a lot of ugly possessions here. I still like the under here. I think Embiid should have a big game, but I will lean to some Harden unders in general, just based on his reputation of partying a bit now being in Miami.
I'm so torn because I would have loved for after that win for Miami to be a 2-point favorite. Like that
Yeah.
would have just solidified me on the 76ers.
I think I'm still leaning Philly here because even in a great get up spot for Miami, they still barely won the game. And it looked
Yeah.
like Philly was kind of sleepwalking through most of it. I'm assuming that Philly's the better team. Like, even though they lost the last game to Miami, Philly's still the more talented roster. I don't think that's really debatable. I'm still going to lean to Philly, but I feel better about the under.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm still going Philly. Yeah. That was my mindset before this. I'm gonna keep it going, even though the line kind of isn't where I would like it to be. I'm gonna still roll with Philly to get it done on the second game of a 2-game series for these two. All right, I'm on the under as well. Same concept as the early game is that both of these teams really more Miami that struggled scoring the basketball, and because Philly hasn't needed to score, like they've just been playing well defensively, so they haven't needed to put up a bunch of points. But I expect to see defensive game. I expect to see a slow pace game, and this under still coming in cash. And what was that official? It was at 200. Yeah, it was at 200 last time. So I think we're still good. All right. Prop wise, anything else prop wise that's sticking out to you?
I'm trying to think because I said that Butler, I'm not expecting to go near a triple double. If you want to make an argument for rebounds, I don't mind that. I don't mind that because he did a good job on the glass last game. If we're on Embiid, aren't we automatically just assuming that like Adebayo is going to have a pretty rough night? Just based on the foul hunting and the potentially
Yeah,
slow-paced game, I'm
I
kind of
don't know.
expecting Adebayo to struggle a bit in this matchup.
I just don't bet Bam. Like even when I say Bam is gonna have a bad night, like it goes opposite direction. He's just a player that I just can't get right, and I admit that I can't get Bam right, and it's just better if I don't touch Bam at all. Jimmy, what did he fall short like by the hook or like by one
It was
bucket or
one assist.
something?
I was one assist away from
No, I'm
reaching the
talking about the
bucket.
points. I gave out his points prop
Oh,
that he didn't get there.
what did he finish with? 23, I
Yeah,
think.
it was like 25,
24.
25 and a half. I think he
I
was
know he
like
missed a free
23,
throw at the
24.
end, which would have put them up 3, and that
I think he
ended up
finished with
resulting in a
24.
game-winning look. But
Let me see. I'm pretty sure it was 24. But that was just like that was brutal for me because I was on his points prop.
I still
And I
can't
felt
believe he made that spinning layup there in the final 2 minutes. I don't know how he made that shot, but
yeah, he finishes with 23 points, so he just
it's
barely
23.
missed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not really interested in props right now. Maybe I'll change along the day, but I'm not. I'm good on this game of props.
All right.
All right, people. YouTube, stay right there. We're not going anywhere. However, if you're listening to the podcast version, then we are going over to part 2. So just go ahead and switch over to part 2, which is starting right about now. Yes, sir. And we are back with part 2 of the NBA Gambling Podcast today. Definitely getting into the second half of the slate. And I chose the right game to kick it off with because we have the grudge match. Scott's Brooklyn Nets are on the road to play my New York Knicks. Knicks are laying 7.5. 223 is the total. Half point up. That total was at 220, 2.5. It's up to 223. Going and looking at an injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Brooklyn Nets. Well, they're playing on a back-to-back, so you're not really going to know. Cam Johnson, injury management is TBD. Edmund Sumner, personal reasons, he's TBD as well. Yuta Watanabe, TBD. And Ben Simmons is shut down for the rest of the year, which is
Watanabe
addition by
hasn't played in
subtraction.
a couple of weeks anyway. He's been a healthy scratch, so I don't think anything.
Yeah.
But
And for the New York Knicks, they look completely healthy. I don't have anything for the New York Knicks at all. So, Knicks line opened up at -6.5, is sitting at -7.5. I know what I'm doing. What are you doing, Scott?
the Nets have been so bad lately because they can't score, but we know the Knicks just beat this team by what felt like 30. I think it was 20 something and change. Josh Hart went crazy. He had like 27 points. I think I got to lean to the Knicks, but it is a pretty good spot for the Knicks to just completely lay an egg, and everyone's going to be betting the Knicks blindly in a
Mm-hmm.
rivalry game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a spot where the Nets could obviously use a win because they're on the verge of I don't want to say a full-on collapse, but it's looked pretty rough the last couple of weeks. But I think I'm going to lean to the Knicks here. The Nets just don't have enough offensive firepower with their current roster. Finney Smith forgot how to shoot. Cam Johnson might not play. Bridges has been very good, so I'll give him props. I've been blindly taking his 3-point number at like 1.5, and it's cashed pretty much every game. But you have Randall, you have Brunson, Josh Hart, I just mentioned, was good against this team a little while ago. Mitchell Robinson's back, and the Nets really struggle with rebounding. I think I'm just on the Knicks. I understand if you want to make a case for the Nets because it's a perfect letdown spot for the Knicks and everything, but based on how the Nets have played recently, they can't score. They have too many dry spells, and I like how the Knicks have played. Chemistry-wise, the Knicks are really clicking. I'm going to lean to the Knicks at home.
All right.
I'm assuming you're taking the Nets.
Yes, 100%. So it's just like it's hilarious because who is a fan of which team here? I should have said my Brooklyn Nets and your Knicks, but yeah, no, I'm fading the Knicks in this spot, man. Come on. So the number one thing that makes me fade the Knicks is because I turned on the TV the other day, and the first thing I saw is everybody raving about how the Knicks have the second longest winning streak in the league. Oh, perfect. Like Fade City. Fade City. Anytime I go and I see the Knicks getting good press in the media, absolutely Fade City of the Knicks. Like just as a fan and what I've seen, 100%. Now, if we want to turn that into actual sports betting and looking at the trend with the New York Knicks, and yes, I see Daniel's talking about the Knicks at home are 14-17 and 1 ATS. Yes, they are historically a bad road team because everybody thinks that they're fucking Michael Jordan when they come to the Garden. But to put actual numbers on it, the New York Knicks since 2011, when they are a home favorite of more than 7 points, they are 21, 31, and 1 against the spread. Now, you have some very bad Knicks teams in that span from 2011 to now. And I do 2011 because that's when the CBA changed and a whole bunch of stuff in the league changed. So that's a really good place to, stop and pick up from a trend. You have some good teams, you have some bad teams. If you're laying if the Knicks are laying 7 points at home, it's either because somebody is probably injured, they're playing against one of the worst teams in the league, and they're looking down the competition. And it's not so many times that the Knicks are actually good. So it's really just those two. And for them to be 21, 31, and 1 against the spread, that's 40%. Really good. Really, really good on backing the Knicks as such a large home favorite of a team that historically just does not play up the competition, and teams come into the Garden playing really, really well. And I like Jock Vaughn. I like Jock Vaughn as a coach. I think Jock Vaughn can really still coach this team up. They've been in a really bad stretch right now, but I think he can really coach this team up and get them playing well, even if they don't get an outright win. Just keep this game close. It's 7.5 points, 3 possessions at this point. Like, I'm really good. So I'm going to fade the Knicks at home, laying a big number. Give me the Nets. This is actually one of my favorite plays of the day. I'll take the Nets plus 7.5.
I see Bridges' 3-pointers are still at 1.5. I don't know how the hell it's still at 1.5. It's around minus 140, so it is a bit juicy. But I mean, to go through the numbers for Bridges, he's been easily clearing this number. He had a massive game against the Knicks. I think he had 28 points in the last meeting. But you're looking at Mikal's 3-point numbers. Once again, the props are 1.5. To go through his made threes over the last couple of games since joining the Nets, 3, 2, 2, 4, 1, 3. And even at 2 and 3, his final 2 games with the Suns. So he's just been constantly going over, and the attempts have been there 7, 6, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's 1.5. That number's way too low for me. I'm on Bridges 3-pointers again.
Yeah. And I think you said he had a massive game against the Knicks last time. That was
I think he
Dinwiddie
had
that had
28
that 20.
points.
That was Dinwiddie that had 28. Bridges had 7.
Sorry, yeah, he had 21.
Because I remember,
Sorry.
I remember I was on Bridges in that game, and he completely laid an egg. But he still hit he was still 1 for 3 from 3. So, like,
yeah,
he's getting them up there.
well,
All right.
Dinwiddie's got to be your leader in the clubhouse for Jordan candidates, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's still, for me, it's still Dinwiddie and Bridges. But
Yeah.
I just have to think that they're going to put on a way better showing than getting absolutely smoked by the Knicks last time they came in this building and played, which is like a week or two, like 2 weeks ago or something like that. So, yeah, I'm all over the Nets here. I feel really good about that one. That's a lock for me. I'm betting that play. All right, 223 is the total. I think if the Nets are in this game, they actually woke up defensively.
I think I have to lean under anyway because I'm still not sold in the Nets offensively. I actually had the under last head-to-head meeting, and that game went over. But I do think at the end of the day, the Nets on a back-to-back, you're worried about tired legs. Offensively, though, the stagnant offense is a serious problem in the second half. When we saw it against Milwaukee, they got buried in that second half yesterday. The Knicks are kind of the same way. They've been better lately, but we know that with Thibodeau, this team can really just drain the life out of the game by draining a bunch of clock and having ugly possessions down the stretch. I'm going to go with the under. I think you'll see both teams drain clock late in this game. Maybe a live under if you think the first quarter or the first half's high scoring, but I'm going to lean to the under.
All right.
By the way, Daniel, I don't know if you can say that the Nets stayed with the Bucks. They stayed with the Bucks for a half or for like 2.5 quarters. They still lost by like 15. They were winning at halftime. They got buried in the second half, but it depends how you define stayed with because they lost by like 15.
They got out fast. I'll say they got out fast.
They did. That's what I'm saying.
They got out fast. I don't think they stayed with them because that
second
half,
I would use.
that second
the game
half was really bad
for the first 2.5 quarters.
But all right, I think the Knicks are good here. All right, let's go on. Any other props that you want to throw out there? I'm gonna just throw Bridges out there again. Let's just scratch game 1 Bridges and let's throw Bridges out there again. And
I mentioned the threes, but I feel like I have to at least bring up either Mitchell Robinson double-double or bring up Claxton unders because Claxton's been kind of a non-factor lately, and Mitchell Robinson's been good.
Yeah,
I think that if you're looking at a double-double price and with Claxton's inability to shoot, you could see Robinson kind of park himself a bit in the lane in this game. But Robinson double-doubles plus 250? Really? 250?
I think that's value. Yeah.
That's a decent price. I mean, Claxton double-doubles plus 200. But I think that with Robinson's recent performances, I think it's a good price.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna just go back on Bridges. Bridges has a good game against the two Nova guys. I'm back on Josh Hart too. Oh my gosh. Like they
Yeah.
just what is Josh Hart's number at today? Let me I didn't even look at that.
I don't even see it.
Because
Actually,
I'm
no,
just
that was double double. Sorry, I gotta scroll back.
Josh
You want
Hart
threes? You want
over
points?
points.
Okay,
Where
it's
I don't
gonna be
see him.
low.
Oh, I don't see him out right now. They had him out early last time. Oh, wait, no, yes, it's at 9.5 now. Okay, so they ticked it up.
Okay.
They ticked it up to 9.5. And I think they're trying to scare me off of it. But I'm still gonna play it. Still gonna play it.
What do you
Josh
have?
Hart.
27.
He had 27 against them, but I
Yeah.
gave it out last game saying that 8.5 was really sweet last game, and I think he had like 13 against the Celtics. And they were some good buckets, man. I was watching it with my uncle, and he was like, "Who is this guy, Josh Hart? Like, who is?" I'm like, "Yo, he's good. Like, he's a really good pickup, and we got him for like nothing, pretty much." So, yeah, he had 12 last game, 5 for 8, 12, 2 for 3 from three. Yeah, I'm still on Josh Hart, man. This 9.5 is low, and he has a role in the offense. Like, he legitly has a role in the offense with the Knicks, and you can't really say that for the when he was on the Blazers. So, yeah, I'm on Josh Hart over 9.5 again. Okay. Next game on the slate, we have the Memphis Grizzlies on the road going to play the Houston Rockets. Memphis is laying 10, ticked up from 9.5, now at 10. Totals dropped 4 points, though. Opened up at 234.5, is sitting at 230.5. Injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Grizzlies, Steven Adams, not seeing him. Jake LaRuvia, you probably not going to see him. And for the Houston Rockets, you have Kevin Porter Jr., who is officially TBD. Safe to say you're probably not going to see Kevin. No, they're
I
saying
think
that
he might
actually he
actually
might
play.
come back. Yeah, no, Silas said that he's confident that Porter's going to come back from a 20-game absence on today. So, all right, Kevin Porter Jr. returns to the lineup today, it looks like. And Deshaun Tate's expected to play as well. Is it 0-3 ATS since the Pray for Victor comments? Is that what we're
I
at?
believe so. They have
Yes, we
not been
are.
close in any
Yes,
of
we
these
are.
games.
0-3, straight up 0-3 ATS, not covering an 8.5 against the Warriors, not covering a 9 against Portland, not covering a 12.5 against Denver. And these are all closing lines as well.
Yeah, I saw Jokic had a triple double in 3 quarters and didn't play the fourth, which I think is exactly what I said would happen in that game. That he'd have a triple double in about 3 quarters, and he did. But yeah, Houston, that's the worst team in the league, right?
I mean, they're
It's tough to
at,
argue with at this point.
I will say, at the very least, they're committed to what the plan is. And the plan is simple. Lose as many
Lose,
games
yeah.
by as much of a margin as you can. Like, don't even make it close. And give us a 1-3 shot of getting that. Not 1-3 shot, but one of the three best teams with the best shot to get that number one overall pick.
Do you think Memphis is hung over for beating the Lakers with no LeBron last night? Or do you think that they just come out and bury this team? It could go either way, but I'm leaning. I'm under the impression that Memphis is going to kill this team.
I mean, I just think I can't sit here and say anything. I'm trying to find any way, because at some point, no matter how bad you are at tanking, no
They're
matter
going to win again.
how you're gonna win a game,
I don't think it's
you're
against
gonna make a
Memphis,
game
but
close. I would not be surprised if it's against Memphis because there's no reason to look past. There's so many reasons to look past this team right here, but I can't give it out. Memphis -10. That's it. Pray for Victor. That's my handicap. Pray for Victor. They are literally telling you they're tanking, and they're actually doing a very good job at it. So, all right, total 230. What are you 230.5? I'm sorry. What are you doing?
I think I got to lean over because Houston can't stop anybody. I think Memphis could score 130 points. It wouldn't totally surprise me. You're looking at the last couple of games. Houston allowed 133 to Denver, 131 to Portland, 133 to OKC, 123 to Philly. They're just giving up a bunch of points. I have to blindly look at Memphis team total over and look at the over because Houston doesn't stop anybody. And the first meeting landed in the 240s. So I'm going to go with the over in this game.
Yeah, I think I had the same mindset at you, but I just played it different. And I was on Houston's team total under. And It's sitting here at 109.5. It's pretty low, but it's sitting at 109.5. And you look at the last couple of games for Memphis. 109 to the Lakers last night. You have 94 to Denver. That's really good. You have the 110 to Philly. Even in a loss, like they held Philly down for majority of that game, and then they just blew it. 111 to Utah. That's solid against Utah's offense, and then they also have that 119. That's the outlier, that 119 to Boston. And so I think that defensively, especially against a Houston team that's getting Kevin Porter Jr. back, so Kevin Porter Jr. is going to put up shots. You have no idea what he looks like. I can probably hang my hat on that he's not going to be efficient in this game at all. And it's just really, can Memphis come down with the rebounds to not give Houston the second chance opportunities? I think that rebounding edge is a pretty even matchup between two teams. I like Houston's team total under 109.5.
My question for you about Ja, are you leaning more towards a triple double? Or are you leaning more towards like a 40 piece? Because he had 49 last game against Houston. But you have to worry about a blowout too. He might only play 3/4.
What's his triple double price?
I see 10-1. You could get him 30 plus points at plus 135, 35 plus at plus 350, and 40 plus is 9-1.
Ja could. It's a back to back, so I think that there's a good possibility if they're up big, Josh sits. And so, what has more likely of hitting in a half to 3/4 of play? I would assume the triple double. So I'll say take the triple double at 10-1.
I can do a same game parlay with that, and I got it up to 17-1.
Yeah. So I think that it's basically what I'm, because I have to. I have to assume that he's done in 3/4. And I think that a triple double in 3/4 has a higher probability of hitting than getting to 40.
Yeah. Once again, I built it up. I've kind of discovered, I don't want to say it's a hack, but I do think that there's some value with the same game parlay function. One book also gives you props per quarter. And if he's going to get a triple double, he's going to have at least 2 rebounds and 2 assists in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So you can add that layer to it with the full game, and it adds an extra plus like 500, 600, something like that. So it turns a 10-1 into a 17-1.
I want you to do that. Can you do that for me with this next game right here? Because the Los Angeles Lakers are going to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC is laying 1 now. Lakers open up as a -1 favorite. It's down to OKC -1 now. Well, completely flipped OKC -1. 229.
Is that what you're asking? You're going with Giddy on this?
Yeah. 229.5 is the total injury report for these two teams. And we have for the Lakers, D'Lo is doubtful. You're not seeing LeBron. Don't have anything else for the Lakers because they played last night. And for OKC, you're not seeing SGA because he's in health and safety protocols, but he also has the abdominal injury as well. Giddy's just had a lot to say. Yeah. Giddy's had a lot to say about the Lakers. And I think with no SGA, that this could be an opportunity for him to showcase himself and have a really good game against this Lakers team. So he was somebody that I was already looking today. Like, it just feels like he's the guy that gets up when the Lakers comes to town. And I'm like, all right, what's Giddy's triple double number at?
So I see 11-1 for the triple double. If you do a same game parlay alone with the rebounds and assists, no points needed, it's already 12-1. And if I don't see any first quarter numbers with that. So it's going to be higher. But I found 12-1 in the same game parlay feature without points compared to the 11-1 on with points, regular default triple double.
And I feel good with that because he's going to have to run the offense for them. And this is a very important game for these two teams. Like, this is a very, very important game for these two teams. And I think that we're going to get the best effort on both sides, even without LeBron, for the Lakers, because they both know that this win is going to set them very, very good in trying to chase for that play-in seed. So I think we're going to see a very, very competitive game. And in a competitive game between these two teams in the bottom of the West, I think Josh Giddey can really like rally everybody else around him because he's been playing a lot better this season, like a lot better. He's one of those guys that you would look at for before the award was attainted, but like he's one of those guys that you would have looked at for most improved because his shooting has been a lot better. His playmaking has been a lot better. You already know he had crazy court vision. So
And Shea's out, so he's gonna have the ball in his hands the entire time.
the entire time. So I already told myself when I saw that Shea was in health and safety protocols that when we got to this Lakers game, I was going to be on Josh Giddey, and I'm not going to switch that up now. I like Josh Giddey a lot today. And points, rebounds, assists. I like Josh Giddey to have a game today.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it was like 12-1, but assuming you can find assuming the quarter props also get posted, you can same parlay those two. It's probably gonna be closer to like 18-1, maybe 20-1. I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. All right. And in terms of the side, Lakers or OKC, because that's pretty much how you have to pick it. Who's winning the game, Lakers or the Thunder?
This one's pretty tricky. I think I have to lean to OKC. I just think that, first of all, are you blindly just going to take some AD props? Because how the hell?
Oh, 100%. 100%. It was blind AD and Josh Giddey for me.
I wanted to make a case for Vanderbilt, but I don't think he's actually good enough offensively to take advantage of opportunities on a regular basis. He really does not have much offensive talent, but he's just a very good defensive player.
And a hustler.
And hustle. That's true, too. So, I've seen OKC play against the Kings recently, though, and defensively they're horrible. Like, they can't stop anybody. Sabonis almost had a triple-double. Bit of a robbery there if you had triple-double last night. But I think I'm going to lean to OKC. I'll hold my nose and I'll take it. OKC's given the Lakers problems for years. So I'm going to lean to OKC.
I'm not laying points with OKC. Whatever this closes at, that's where I'll bet it. Whoever's the favorite, I'm just going to fade them. And so, give me the Lakers.
Are we sure that AD's healthy after Jaren Jackson posterized him into the injury report?
I can say that we cannot confirm nor deny that AD is 100% healthy after that. No.
Just ask. I'm not going to bet the side in this game. I'm going to probably sit back and watch some of it. But if the Lakers are going to win, AD's probably going for like 30 and 15.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm watching. I'm playing props in this game. I'm not betting the side, but
yeah. And the Giddey prop, I don't mind because he has done well against the Lakers in his career.
Mm-hmm. All right. 229.5. Any thoughts on the total?
I'm going to lean over in this one. I leaned to the under in the Memphis game yesterday with the Lakers because I just thought that the pace would be a bit ugly, and I thought Memphis defensively in the paint would provide more resistance to AD than they actually did. Went under anyway. I'm going to go with the over. I've seen OKC play the last couple of games, and they're horrible defensively. They can't stop anybody. I'm going to go with the over. The Lakers, they're going to play with less pace with LeBron being out, but they could still play fast. Mm-hmm. The Thunder want to play fast. I'm on the over.
All right. Slightly into the over. I don't feel good about it. I just don't feel. I prefer props in this one. We already talked about the props that we like in this game. All right.
I think you skipped the game, by the way.
No, I didn't. It actually moved on me and it pushed this game up. And it was a good transition. It was a very seamless transition. So, but we're going to use that transition to get into this next game on the slate. But before I do that, I got to talk to you about WinBet because they are official online sportsbook of Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And they have live betting, same game parlays, win, build your own bet in a whole bunch of different states. So, March Madness is here. Get down on NBA, NHL, XFL, college basketball. Sign up today and receive a special offer. Bet $100. Get $100 limited to state availability. And you have the DGen's only long shot parlay of the week, where if you hit the longest parlay in terms of highest odds, you will get $1,000 free credit. So much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WINNBET. All subject change terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older. A present state where play through WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Yes, go to store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Get your shirts, hats, sweats, hoodies, shorts, all that stuff over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. That is store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com to hit up the merch store. All right. Next game on the docket, we have the Orlando Magic going to play the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 7.5. 226 is the total. It's a lot of back-to-backs tonight. For the Milwaukee Bucks, you will see if I don't see anything that says Chris Middleton's not going to play.
I don't say anything about Giannis either on a back-to-back. I'm assuming Giannis is going to play,
Yeah,
but
so
keep an
I
eye on it.
see Joe Ingles unlikely to play. That's what I see right now. And Bucks 6-1 on back-to-backs this season. Just throw that out there. For the Orlando Magic, you have Jonathan Isaac, who is questionable. Everything else is good for the Magic. So 7.5 at the Bucks. That line has come down. It opened up at -9.5. It's now down to 7.5. 226 is total. What are you doing?
Well, based on all the trends and everything, you're automatically leaning to Milwaukee, but the line movement's a bit concerning. Just based on how much it's moved in a game involving the Magic, which feels a bit weird. I think I got to lean to Milwaukee anyway because they've won 15 straight. Like, it's tough for me to go against this team, but that line movement does look extremely interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it does. And I'm going with Orlando and the points. Earlier this season, matched up on December 5th in Orlando. Bucks won 109-102. I think that's when Giannis, and I think there were some people missing in that one, actually. Can't remember the game script of that one. Oh, well, I do see a doubtful here for Chris Middleton, so you might not have Chris Middleton in that game. And that makes me feel better. Like, you're missing Chris Middleton. Joe Ingles, another depth piece that's been playing pretty solid for them.
There's no way that Middleton at this point is worth like 2 points, though. 2-3.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's not. It's definitely movement. Like it's movement. I see 41% of the bet, 68% of the money on Orlando. The sharps are on Orlando in this spot, and I feel it because Orlando's playing good basketball right now, and I mean, you said it to me, and I think you corrected me on it, but they have an outside shot at this play-in, and they feel like that this is when they have to turn the season on and really put forth the effort of going out there, stealing wins where they can, and getting themselves into the play-in. They had a really good game last time out where they got a win as a 4-point dog versus the Pelicans. I think that they can make this at least enough to scare Milwaukee, and keep themselves in the game. I do like individual pieces for this team as well. And if Paolo Banchero can turn it on like he turned it on against the Pelicans, then they're 100% going to be in this game. So I'm going to take Orlando plus 7.5. I like it.
I'm not going to bet the game, but I'm going to go with the team that's won 15 straight. But based on the line movement alone, it does seem like the Bucks could be a sucker play. So just keep an eye on it.
All right. Totals at 226. Come down half a point. Anything on there?
This is a pretty tough one because Milwaukee defensively is still solid. Orlando defensively is a bit hit or miss, but if you're looking at the last couple of games for Orlando, they've been better defensively. I mean, they gave up 121 to Indiana, but they gave up 93 to New Orleans, 106 to Detroit, 91 to Chicago, but they've been kind of hit or miss. I'm going to lean under because Milwaukee's still on a back-to-back, and defensively, last 5 games for the Bucks, these are points allowed: 104, 101, 99, 100. I'm going to lean to the under.
Yeah, I got a slight lean to the under as well. I mean, Orlando's been solid. Like, Orlando's been really solid, coming out of this break. But you can say that the level of competition has been down. This is going to be a big test for them, and we'll see if they can live up to it. But 3 straight unders after All-Star for Orlando. I'm cool backing it as well with Milwaukee and that great defense. I'll take an under as well. All right. Any other props you like for this one?
I'm not really sold on much, just thinking about it. Giannis, I think, is going to have a huge game if he plays, because Orlando, I think, can actually stop him. So I think Giannis in line for a big game. I'm assuming that you're going to be pivoting to some type of Ingles props or maybe Grayson Allen or something if Middleton's out.
Ingles is probably going to be out too, so
Or
it would
Ingles out,
be
sorry. So you're probably going to pivot to like Grayson Allen or somebody like that. Maybe I
a
know
little bit.
Compton has props, but
I'm more on the Orlando side of the ball. Moonoff came in and stole it already before I could even say it, but I did like Wendell Carter Jr. today. A double double at plus 195. And one just fading the injury report that the Bucks are probably gonna sit somebody else. Like Bobby Portis just came back from injury not too long ago. So if he's a late game scratch, last minute scratch for this game, not surprised. If Giannis is a scratch after what is it, a hand and what was the other injury? A calf, hamstring, something like that.
it
That
was
pulled
a
him out
wrist
the
injury and a knee injury.
knee injury. So if they pull Giannis in this game, wouldn't be surprised. Like there's so much because this isn't even official injury reports. I think that no, it looks like officially they said doubtful for Ingles and Middleton early this morning, but I don't know. I don't trust the Bucks injury report too much. And if I get one of those guys out of the way, or even if they're not out of the way, Wendell Carter's gonna have to play a lot of minutes to match up with those guys, and that gives him more opportunity for rebounds, more opportunity for points. So, yeah, I'm good on backing Wendell Carter today. All right, let's mosey on here to no wait,
We
cause
got
I
one
gotta
more
talk
game.
to you. Yeah, we do got one more game. But before we do that, I got to talk to you again about Talkify, the dating app that you want. Because, look, you should have confidence when dating. You should have a lot of confidence when dating. And you can't build that confidence if you're meeting the wrong people. If you like apples, and you love apples, but you keep meeting oranges, you're gonna be disappointed. Get the app that's gonna help you meet more apples so you can really enjoy your apples. So, number one, modern matchmaking service. They can have helped people, 80% of people meet their match in the first 12 matches. Right now, Talkify is offering our listeners 20% off when you become a client at talkify.com. Go to Talkify, TAWKIFY.com/SGPN for 20% off. And when you become a client, Talkify.com/SGPN. All right.
I gotta ask, was that like a Goodwill Hunting bit, or do you just decide to talk about apples and oranges?
So I just decided to talk about apples and
I
oranges.
wasn't sure if that was like a Goodwill
Fun
Hunting type of
fact,
thing you're going for.
fun fact, I've never seen Goodwill Hunting.
Really? Okay.
I've never seen it. I've heard all of the references. I guess that's like where Matt Damon got his start, I
Yeah,
think.
him and Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck got to start there too. I knew they were
They
like
both
cool.
co-wrote the movie or the
Oh, really?
script, so that's how they
Oh,
became well
I've
known.
never seen. Somebody did a Goodwill Hunting reference like the other day, and I didn't get it at all. Like I've never seen the movie.
Well, it's
I
either
think
do you like apples or like my boy's wicked smart. Those like the main two
okay.
lines from the movie. So
Well, really? Oh, so
for the
yeah,
most
yeah.
part, I mean, you
It
have a
was
couple
a it
other
was a
lines
good
sprinkled in there.
it
But
was a Goodwill Hunting reference.
okay,
Absolutely,
that's not
100%.
your fault. That's a good one too, Nick. That's a good one too.
Okay. Oh, that was a reference as well. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
get
not
that.
your fault. Yeah, I forgot
Okay,
about that too. That's a good point.
it's other people that are laughing at that, and I'm not laughing at it at all. Okay, let's get to the last game of the slate. We have the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers are laying 1.5. Opened up at -2. Now they're laying 1.5. 223 is the total. Ticked up half a point from 222.5. For the New Orleans Pelicans, you have Jonas Valanciunas questionable, Josh Richardson questionable, Jose Alvarado and Larry Nance are on IR right now. They are not playing in this game. And for the Portland Trailblazers, you have I can't tell you anything. They just played like literally a couple hours ago, basically. So don't have anything for the Portland Trailblazers.
I'm still gonna lean to Portland.
Are you really? Okay.
I actually am. It's based on spot for me. New Orleans, I can't take them on the road, especially. They're 10-21 on the road.
They are.
They've lost 4 straight in general. They lost to Orlando at home by 8, only scored 93 points. Played the Knicks, they got killed. Played the Raptors, they lost by 5. Played the Lakers, lost by 18. once again, 10-21 on the road. Now, I'm not saying that Portland's good. I think everyone knows that I'm very, very anti-Trailblazers, but I got to at least acknowledge the fact that with Alvarado being out and they're missing a couple of key bench pieces,
Yep.
I'm not sold on this team without Zion. First of all, this team without Zion was bad anyway, but now their bench was one of their strongest parts of the team, and now the bench is also compromised. So I'm going to go with the Trailblazers here, but I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not going to bet the game, but I'm not going to lay money with the Pelicans on the road. 10-21 straight up on the road. I can't do it at 1.5. I'm going to lean to Portland.
Nah, Portland sucks too. I'm taking the Trailblazers. I'm going with the dog. I'll take the not Trailblazers. I'm taking the Pelicans. I'm going with the dog, and I'm taking the Pelicans. Portland sucks too. They do, and
you fully went heel on the Trailblazers.
yeah, I have. I think I'm finally there, and it took a while. Apologize for being late to the party, but I'm always fashionably late. That's nothing new. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm always late, but it's not fashionable.
I mean, I can't get behind. I know for a fact that we're not going to see Anthony Simons in this game. And I just can't get behind everybody else scoring the basketball right now. Like, I really can't. Is Dame going to carry this team to a win or not? And
that's the thing. Can Portland win a game if Lillard does not score like 35?
And
I don't know.
It's a legit question. And there's still some, history. I wouldn't say it's like bad history, but it's history between two teams. CJ's coming back to Portland. You've got Josh Hart's not even on the team anymore, so that doesn't even matter. Like, CJ's coming back. And that's going to be a big thing, like, emotionally for this Pelicans team. They're going to get up for CJ. He's probably going to have a pretty solid game because he's going to have to. I mean, they're compromised. They're extremely compromised. Trey Murphy's probably going to be into the starting lineup this game. And I don't know who exactly is going to have a good matchup with Trey Murphy, whether it's on the inside or on the perimeter. I think this is a pretty good spot for him to have a nice game. So, I don't know what I'm getting out of Matisse Thybulle offensively. I don't know what I'm getting out of Cam Reddish offensively. Grant might give me 20, so I feel decent about that. But even coming off of that, like, Shady and Sharp is up and down when I don't know.
I just want Portland to let him play 30 minutes in a game, just
let me see what he does. Like, let me just see how he responds to it.
You know your team's not good. Just show me something.
I just can't. I can't get behind Portland anymore, guys. I'm done with them. I
can't get behind New Orleans on the road, so it's one of the only spots.
And I get that.
Portland.
This probably be the last time that I bet New Orleans on the road. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I just think that CJ coming home is a really nice spot. And if CJ and Brandon Ingram can have a good game, and I'm pretty sure that Trey Murphy is going to be pretty good from three in this game as well, being able to space the floor and hit some threes, that's going to really, really invigorate some offense out of them. I'm going to Pelicans, and I like the fact that I'm getting a little bit of reverse line movement there as well, with 83% of bets, 80% of the money on Portland, but that line dropped half a point. So I feel good about that as well.
It's an important game in the standings. Pelicans are 10th, Trailblazers are 11th, so they're actually separated by half a game for the play-in. Are we sure New Orleans even makes the play-in? Because people keep telling me Zion comes. I don't think they're going to make the play-in.
Nope. You are not guaranteed to see them make the play-in. However, I do like them to win this game. All right. Totals 223. No, 223, 233. Sorry.
I was going to say 223 sounds very, very low.
No, sorry, misspoke. 233.
I'm going to lean under. No, Portland's on a back-to-back. Golden State plays fast. They had to run up and down the court the entire game. But offensively, the Pelicans, the last couple of games, really, really bad. Just to go through the scoring numbers for the Pelicans over the past couple of games here, I want to just see how deep it goes because I have the last 5. I wanted to go even further than that. Okay, so the last couple of games here, 93, 106, 110, 102, 103, 107. They can't even break 108. Like, I'm going to lean to the under. This team can't score. And now Alvarado's out in company. I'm going to go with the under.
Yeah, I like under too. All right. I told you the players that I like. Give me Trey Murphy threes. I like Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum today. Anything else you want?
No, I do like McCollum, though. I think that with Alvarado being out, that's going to even potentially boost his playmaking. Because I don't know how they're going to mess with the rotations. Are they just going to give McCollum 40 minutes and just say win
I
us the
have
game?
no
I don't
idea
know.
how you. I don't know. I mean, it's either that or Brandon Ingram. Like Brandon Ingram has, like I said, Brandon Ingram has experience bringing the ball to the court. Like
Yeah.
he's Zion, CJ. That's the reason why I really, really like these three going into the season because all three of them have really good playmaking and not just scoring. So yeah, I mean, I think that is CJ's gonna have the ball in his hands and be making majority of the decisions. So yeah, I think that's a good look as well.
I
All
have to
right.
look at Valanciunas because he's against Eubanks, and
Oh
Eubanks can't
yeah, he
really
should.
shoot.
Oh yeah,
So
he should clean
Valanciunas
up
should
on the.
cook in this game.
Yeah, he should. He should. Very good. See, come on, come to the dark side. Take Scott. I know it's Pelicans on the road. I know it is. But this is the spot. This is the spot. For a 10-11 matchup, this is the spot that they get a road win. There's not a lot of spots they get a road win. This
I
is the
hope
spot
they
that they
do
get a
get the
road win.
road win because I want the Pelicans to make it over the Trailblazers in the play-in, but I'll lean to Portland here. We'll see
All
what
right.
happens. Once
I
again,
can
I'm not going to bet it. No matter who I lean to, I'm not betting this game on a side. A player prop maybe, but for a side, no chance.
I don't know. I might actually take CJ points and New Orleans win a game type of
Okay, so that's like a player performance double
yeah,
type of game.
I'm very well maybe on that.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Don't have anything else. Let's get into our lock and dog. For my lock, I don't see. I don't know if I want to make the Nets my lock or my dog. Uh, huh. I don't want to fade. Okay, so all right, that's how we do it. So I'll make the Nets plus 7.5 my lock because even though that trend that I said for the Knicks, again, 21, 31, and 1 against the spread when they're catching 7 or more at home since 2011, 40.4% ATS. They're still 37-16 straight up. That's pretty much 70%, 69.8%. So I'm not going to make them my dog outright, but I will make the Detroit Pistons my outright dog at plus 190. Chicago sucks, man. They look down to competition. They're not good. And Detroit is, I don't know, man. Second half of the season, Detroit has been really good. It was really good last year. It's off to a pretty decent start. Hopefully, they keep it going. Cross fingers. Chicago on a back to back, traveling out of Canada now to Detroit. All right, let's do it. Let's roll with the Pistons plus 190. Scott, what are you
All
doing today?
right. So for my lock, I think I'm going to go to a player prop here. I'm going to go back to Bridges 3-pointers at 1.5 at around minus 140. Once again, the last couple of games, he's just constantly been going over, especially with the Nets. He's gone 3 for 7, 2 for 6, 2 for 5, 4 for 6. When 1 for 3 against the Knicks, he was awful in that game. He really wasn't a factor. I think he'll be more aggressive this time around. But when 3 for 5 against Philly, so he's had at least 2 3-pointers in 5 of his first 6 games with the Nets, and even the last 2 games with Phoenix. So he's gone over this number quite regularly, and yet it's still at 1.5. It's made me a decent amount of money lately. So I'll go with Bridges over 1.5 3-pointers at minus 140 as my lock. And for my dog, we're going to double dog the Pistons here. I feel like it's a good spot for them. Chicago on a back-to-back. They've lost 6 straight on the road. I want nothing to do with this team. I think it's 6 straight on the road. It could be 4, but they have not exactly been good. I'm going to go with the Pistons. I think it's a good spot. It's also kind of a geographical rivalry where,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of, I don't want to say records go out the window, but I do think that these games kind of matter for just local bragging rights for like these two teams are when the Bucks play, but neither team can actually beat the Bucks ever. So I'll go with the Pistons money line here. I just think it's a good spot to fade a Bulls team that's awful on the road on a back-to-back.
Yep, 5 straight road losses for the Chicago
It's
Bulls.
5. Okay.
All right. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, not really. You can find me on Twitter at Rice Show Radio. Hopefully, we'll make some money. And besides that, yeah, good luck to all of you and your bets.
All right. I'm at really real __. Make sure you follow SGPN NBA on Twitter as well. So like, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube. Download review, all of that stuff on Spotify, on Apple, all wherever you get your podcast. Appreciate all of that. Those keep the lights on. And other than that, let's go ahead and give you your time back. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do, no other way of ending the podcast. I'm just going to end it like this. We are out of here.